Yeah, it's really good.
Make the guns kiss.
One much.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimir here with our guests, Buttons and Layfulay, and we are continuing the letter.
2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I? A child? Watching me and treating me like one? There's the reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. I am very thankful that this chapter has done a quick catch-up to the good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, we have 2 new entries.
Yeah. Kime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alone, Luke heard voices coming from the nearby ballroom. When he decided to investigate, he was assaulted by memories not of his own. And at the center of it all is the same woman who appeared before him the day before. And then it's the same day. Okay. Bumping into Luke after his flight from the ballroom, Johannes quickly ushered the parent man to his room, while the house's security looked for the trespasser, only to be greeted by a room devoid of Hannah, who was supposed to have arrived with the butler. Ooh.
For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions. Then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I can feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly silent for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, its pitter-patter hitting hard against the place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hana will be safe too. Shulkin will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long ago.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon. Again?
Really? Again?
There's been a lot of text issues, and I don't know if it's glitches or not, because there's been instances that are still italicized that shouldn't be.
I mean, as we progress, there have just been a lot more problems overall.
Yeah.
The
like
later
with-
chapters just got less beta reading, so.
Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult. Every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, or the sight of her hard smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy, Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is, after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home. I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know? As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits, too. Although there's still that problem with Hannah. I haven't forgotten that, of course. But that's why I hired Shorkin. He is competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits, who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hannah while I... Hannah.
You do not need her. I'm here. We are here. This is where your home is.
Creepy.
Where you belong for the blood we share. Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now, right?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hannah's going to be so cross when she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's the power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds, or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's the storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans, has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Shrokin! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It has only been a few hours after midnight if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I forgot to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hannah as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. On one of my drawers, underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hannah has never openly commented on my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy of the nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together. Otherwise, she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piling about it to the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the fuck did everyone go?
It's basically the reaction of this entire mansion is like, where the hell is everyone? There were two, weren't there? Shawkin had two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. What? Did both of them decide to take a break? Because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits.
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city by Luxburn, but bollocks! There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited, who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrokin won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands, after all.
Ooh.
What?
Well,
Excuse me, what?
He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So, where then? Only my footsteps echo a long dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with the storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind and the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come of allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. So we should have caught up to the rest of the group now, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think that's where we're at. We're at 1 now.
How is there still an undiscovered for the 31st if we've played through everyone?
No, I didn't realize that that we were on the next day. That I was
Right,
Yeah,
but
but
if
what she was saying is when you got to the end of October 31st,
there was still an
Uh,
undiscovered journal entry.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably something that happens in another path.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Luke Wright woke up to a storm raging outside, and with his whole house eerily quiet. Power was still off, and his butler was nowhere to be found, even when called. Taking his gun with him, he went out to investigate, and in the foyer of his own home.
I feel like those two need to
Okay.
be swapped.
I was just about to say that,
Yeah.
not to nitpick here, but those two entries should probably be swapped because Luke running around like that is before encountering the group.
Yeah.
But they are same time, so like I get where they're going for with it.
I guess.
And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms. Recognize them, even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come in my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones know that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if only... Oh.
What?
Oh.
If that's a word you don't want to say, by all means.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
I don't even know what that word means.
Yeah, I don't
The
either.
first time I see it.
Is
Oh.
what?
It's the first time I see it. Oh, no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen it too, so
I'm pretty sure I know what it means.
I'm gonna.
And that's why I'm like, oh, I really don't want to say that.
Oh, yeah. 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 Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Just looked it up.
And if one of this beeps sort is in
Oh.
on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too. What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this?
So for those wondering and who do not know, that word means a person who is not white. It is a derogatory term towards people who aren't white.
It's highly offensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Mint. Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be professional at the very least, for fuck's sake. To top it all off, they have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers. What is wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive,
Make them pay
and it better be a good one.
for all the wrong they've to us.
A bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sounds hit close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing in the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes me over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him.
My first love.
Right? Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happens there? And did he really think it's all right to do that in another person's house? Lout.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They're his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together?
So one thing I think that's interesting is like the change in malevolence in the ghost character. I think Whoever it was earlier that supposed that there might actually be 2 ghosts might actually be right.
I'm intrigued by this. The ghost is definitely affecting characters malevolently
Yeah.
portion. Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger's more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed. I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's done is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or 2. People these days, in my own home, can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I feel kind of bad, actually, that in the previous chapter we were shitting on him and being like, yeah, you probably were already drinking anyway, and it's like, actually, I just had a terrifying possession experience and my wife is missing.
Yeah.
So we were kind of assholes, but it's fine. It's mostly me.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's how this game is played, is it's intentionally meant to fuck up your perception of the situation.
And it does a real good job.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face. As soon as his feet hit the floor, and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
We're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now?
You know, we didn't get a ding there, so I'm just thinking, does he still say that if all the women are dead?
Probably not.
We got the
but-
ding there, though, in Ashton's chapter.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that. I just can't risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own. Even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me.
I still love that art.
Yeah, it's really good.
Make the guns kiss.
Mama.
Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, They have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time. Like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree it is. Commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. You good?
Just
You okay?
passing.
Do you need water?
That was a hard to swallow pill.
He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner, in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Well, I mean, if you were in Texas, sure. Questionable permit of firearms aside. It's not like I wanted this. But I'm already high-strung, and their presence does not help. Bloody peasant. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work. Weren't you one, my dude?
Yeah.
Take this one, for example. Despite the pride brimming in him how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second. Not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego, in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
As you should be, my lord.
I've expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. Can't say it'll be more exciting that way. Bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today. Or any day, for that matter. But it'll surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. They're the kind of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second-guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot. One of us dies, the other walks away. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power. Just muscle memory and who's the better shooter. End of story. Yet here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way. Be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who, in another life, would have also become the person I am today had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Listen, right, I need you to...
But alas,
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
a meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. And I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear even facing the business end of my pistol.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
The best truth I can offer him. Not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, live this long to see it.
And he should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer. Preferably right now. Because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle of the eagle against his temple.
Ashton!
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
I mean, if Luke is honestly like, I'm gonna one-arm shoot this deagle, he's a fucking idiot. Just saying. And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun's safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways, it's funny. Down to the fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats of my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life, he should have caved in by now, started begging, like so many others before him. Instead, he throws more vitriol, adding more kindling to a fire already burning.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help but return it to him with equal fervor.
We don't need him, my love.
Why, you insolent!
We both decide to move at that moment, both our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before we can even get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Luke, help me. Please.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye!
Bye.
This is going forward by itself. I don't know who the heck is supposed to be speaking.
The moon? No, it is you who should gaze upon the moon, for it will be the last moon you will ever see!
Uh-oh.
See you in hell, evil magistrate!
This is a kid's show, you can't say that.
See you in heck! This warrior swords gleam, the one has fallen, but who? Only the moon knows! Ask her. Don't miss next week's exciting episode. The Dark Messenger returns.
Cheesy as heck, but awesome.
I would watch that.
Same. I was just about to say the exact same thing.
Good old Power Rangers, like.
Yeah.
Sentai shows. October 14th, 5:31 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices.
That rocked! See you in hell, evil magistrate!